Southland Mall was an indoor mall on the south side of Columbus, Ohio, just across the street from the older strip mall style Great Southern Shopping Center. Southland Mall was opened in 1977 with Gold Circle Department Store and Fazio Grocery Store initially acting as hubs, soon after in 1977 joined by three-screen Loew's Theater. There was a variety of other stores inside, including a bookstore, music instrument store, and later a video game arcade. Southland Mall was a go-to destination during the 1980s when malls attracted many shoppers and students. You might call the 1980s the age of the mall. However, like many of the malls did, people's shopping habits changed beginning in the 1990s and began to abandon the malls. Many of the stores were gone by the late 1990s, like Gold Circle. Fazios had become, I recall, either an Ontario's or a Kroger back in the 1980s and was gone entirely by the 1990s. The arcade was gone by the mid-1990s, many kids preferring to play games at home instead of at the mall. The storefronts in Southland Mall started closing as well, sometimes replaced by small businesses, but mostly just stayed empty. The Gold Circle location was taken over by an antique mall, and a comic store, British Paper Mill, was near the entrance. Finally, the mall itself was closed, and the area towards the north, which housed Gold Circle, was demolished, and the building redesigned for a new client, the Electronic Classroom of Tomorrow, or ECOT. This was a school where the lessons were taught through computers at home. This was very successful at first, but eventually the school ran into trouble and ultimately had to close. My memories of the mall began in 1981 when we went to see what all the hubbub was about. I remember going to the bookstore, of course, later that year, taking my little sister to see the first run Raiders of the Lost Ark, which we both enjoyed. In the early 1990s, I remember going to the arcade, which was still there, and playing pinball for the first time, beginning my love for that classic pinball machine. I went back fairly regularly until the mall closed. Today, the building is utilized by Columbus City Schools. Sadly, the only recognizable part of the old Southland Mall is the sign, which sits at one of the entrances to the old mall, beside South High Street, in front of the Dollar Tree. I miss the old malls like Eastland, City Center Mall, and Southland Mall.